guys, welcome to Nine's Corner. It is Sunday night. It's about 1:20 in the morning, and yes, I should be asleep, but I'm not. My energies are just going crazy, and I thought I'm going to do some readings. And unlike before, I would just do them myself and go on to bed. I have you guys to think of and to join the conversation, so I thought press record and let's go. So let me just start off by saying I thank each and every one of you for your comments, your likes, your subscribes. I really appreciate it. And as always, I have my candle lit for each and every one of us. And tonight I have us being joined by Mr. Spock. Oh, of course now, just as say hi, Spock. Say hi. Look, say hi. Say, I love you guys. Say, I love you. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. Okay, yeah, it's going to be that kind of a reading. So I thought, let's just jump right into it. I am being encouraged to look into these riots. I've been on this earth long enough to have seen a number of these come and go, but somehow in this year of 2020, like I said before, I just feel this really strong energy of change, that which is old and does not serve us anymore will be destroyed. And I believe that these riots are not just going to go away in 3 or 4 or 5 days. I think this is going to go on for several months, up to and including up to the election time. This has been the time that we've been talking about for a while now, where you're going to see change. And the only way to get to change is to feel the pain of change. The change where you've got to change people's minds. And this is not something that, is a choice. This is something that they have lived in and learned. These are lifelong, almost in the DNA things. So as much as it's going to be a time of huge change, it is going to be a time of profound enlightenment. And all these difficulties that we're going to confront, they are going to bring about a better world. And that's where the hope lies. And I truly feel that. And that's why I think that these riots and everything that's happening in the U.S. right now, these and not even just in the U.S., it's happening in Hong Kong. I mean, like we've said in previous videos, anything that is wrong is going to come to the light. And you're seeing it. There's no aspect, whether it be movie stars to the janitor in the local school. If you do something, you're going to get called out for it. It's just the way it is. So let's have a look into these riots. How are they going to affect what the future is going to be about? Because you know what? One of the things that I get the feeling from the cards, and I mean, I know this has been touched on in some of the news, that there's been professional people going in and causing some of this damage. They are systematically organized to go in and cause these riots. Because let's face it, Trump and a lot of the people, organizations, for example, KKK, that feel that they've gotten a voice and a platform from Trump, they are going to organize and do what they think they need to do to help Trump along. And this is one of the things that will help Trump along. So let's have a look at these riots. I want to know, was this man's death, was George Floyd's death done on purpose? Because you're looking at 4 cops who, literally killed a man in broad daylight and on video. I want to know, is it just one, or are all of them going to come to justice? What is going to be the results of the riots? Let's just have okay, I had one. Oh my God. Literally, I'm just shuffling. I got the Queen of Swords and the Judgment card. So right off the gate, I am telling you all four are going to receive justice. There is a female energy coming into this. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to be female, but it is a female type of energy that's coming around all of this. It's almost like a nurturing energy of like, yes, this is not just another riot that will go into the history books and it'll be mentioned the next time. This is a time of actual change. There is going to be judgment. All four are going to see judgment. That is going to happen. Wow, 2 cards just flew out, so let's see what's covering it. Wow, the Empress. So, I almost feel like there's a really strong feminine energy coming out of this. I think women and mothers are going to play a really strong role in this. I do feel that because I had the Judgment card come out, I do feel like there was a possibility of a plan. Not necessarily that they actually specified him, even though that would not be shocking in this time. But I almost feel like they were already prepared behind the scenes that the first sign of some kind of division, that they would go and attack in an organized way, because they want to spread, to embrace this negativity, because it's almost like it's their last shot of getting ahead. Underneath it all is the Hermit. So there is going to be more information coming out. There's more secrets. There's more... This is a cover-up. There's more going to be happening. There's more going to be coming out. This is not a case that's going to go away. This is a case that's going to start the revolt, the change. On top of it, it's almost like there's this momentum of change, and I don't see it coming from the older generation necessarily. I think that the younger group of people, because this is somebody who's in clothes that's almost too big for them. So I feel like the younger generation, or what a lot of people refer to as the do-nothing generation, but I don't believe that. I think this is referring to people that are younger that, might not look like they would fit that role, but they're going to be the ones that are going to incite this change. There is major hope of change. There's major communication. There's going to be, this is going to not settle into one place. You're going to see riots, and it's not just in the U.S. There's going to be, in this time of 2020, this inspiration, this need to get out, to speak your truth, no matter what your truth is. Unfortunately, with this, there's going to come some pain, suffering. There's going to be people that are going to be harmed out of this. There's going to be some difficulties coming out of this. We need to rely on each other, and we need the strength. We need the strength of our conviction to move forward. We need the strength of our morals to move forward. We need the strength of our character, but we also need the strength of each other. This is not a time where we need to allow them to separate us based on the color of our skin. I mean, honestly, I grew up in the 70s and 80s, and it was a time of black people on television, black people in music. I mean, if you went into my room when I was 13 and 14 years old, you would have seen posters of Tina Turner and Michael Jackson and Prince, and nobody ever told me it was wrong. And I really feel that my children, like, when I talk to them about anything, it's like they don't see it in the way that we see it, or that generations did before. It's like they truly don't have this hang up about sex and religion and race. It's like somehow there's this change. And that's why I truly feel that this is the generation that's going to bring about this change, because they don't see things the way that the older crowd do. They see things as the way that they are, that we're all in unity and together. And I believe that the young people are going to be the ones that are going to bring around this change. The overall feeling of the people coming into this is that it's an illusion, delusion. We are, guys, I am telling you, please listen to me when I'm telling you. When you're watching the news, when you're watching things coming out, don't be too quick to judge. Don't be too quick to say, because there's going to be one day something coming out and the next day they're going to say, nope, that's not true. This is what actually happened. And there's going to be more to the story coming out. There's definitely going to be more to the story coming out. And let's face it, when they came out and said, he had a heart issue, that it wasn't the police officer's knee in his neck choking him. I'm not saying that they lied. I'm just saying that they didn't tell the truth. Because whether he had cancer or heart disease or diabetes, he wouldn't have died in that moment if they didn't have his knee into his neck. And the fact is, we don't even know what the other cops were doing. Were they leaning on him? Were they doing things behind the scene? We don't know. The world is looking. This is not just happening in the United States. It's happening in Hong Kong and in a smaller on a smaller scale, and even in China and in places. People are tired. They want, and especially the new generation, they don't see things in the, I guess, literal black and white way of the old times. They are just so accepting, and it's like we look at them, and I truly feel like they are going to be the change. I truly feel it. We are going to hear news, continuous news of momentum. We're going to hear continuous news of riots. We're going to hear continuous news of this movement happening. This is not going to stop here. This is going to continue for several months. It's going to continue right into the time of Donald Trump. And I mean, when I say that, I mean the election and whatever. But I see in the coming future that there's going to be a woman influence, possibly a woman, that's going to help put the cover on the cup of emotion to give some closure. This is in the future. So I do believe that there's going to be somebody who's going to come along and help with the healing. But before the healing happens, I think that, there are going to be some major things that are going to have to occur. And I do think, according to this reading, you're going to see the other three people end up being called out and being having charges up against them. So I do believe that's going to happen. So I thought, let's have a look in and see what's going to happen with Amy Klobuchar, because she's majorly involved, and she, according to news reports, had an opportunity to deal with that cop, which I'm not going to give his name, time, energy, or oxygen, so we're just going to refer to him as that cop, the murderer. That supposedly she had the ability to have seen his case and she let him go. So this is going to majorly affect her chances of becoming the vice president. And I do believe that Joe Biden was seriously looking at her before this. So I think Joe Biden's decision may be, maybe he'll, gosh, I'm getting tired now. Maybe he'll delay his decision because I don't think Amy's going to, The Fool is like the beginning. It's new beginnings, so I think that Klobuchar probably had an in, but I think that, it's not going to go that way. But there is a victory of some sort. So maybe I spoke too quickly. Hold on. There's strength. Page of Swords. Yeah. I think that she was probably a really strong contender. I'd say she was a really strong contender, that she was probably at the beginning and she was probably in the forefront of getting it. But I think her chances have been cut because of the involvement with the riots and stuff. So in this time of illusion, delusion, in this time of misinformation, in this time when you can't trust everything that's going to be said, I think that people are not going to be given a lot of room to give their reasons why. So I think Amy Klobuchar probably has missed the boat on this one. So that doesn't make her a bad person. It just means that this time, this is not something that people are willing to just turn their head and say, nope, that's okay. So, yeah, I think I'll leave that one alone. So, guys, let's have a look and see what's Donald Trump's week going to look like, because let's look at it. He's got the pandemic. He's got a failing economy. He's got high unemployment. He's got riots happening, which I would not be shocked if somebody who was under his control or somebody who was with him actually paid for the organization of it once it got started. And he also while all this is happening, he's cut off his ties with who? He has, he's made his mark in with Hong Kong, still, probing the beer of China. So, as I said in previous readings, June is going to be a really hard month for Donald Trump. This is going to be a time of scandals. This is going to be a time of things that he has been able to this point to keep to the dark side and not let people see it. It's coming forth. This is not a time when they're going to get away with anything. So June is going to be continuously full of change. So let's see what Donald Trump's week is going to look like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. All right, guys, let's see. First card up. Holy sugar. Donald Trump. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay. So this is going to have multiple meanings. The riots, like I said, they're going to continue. There's going to be so much information. He is going to be pushing to be the dictator. He is going to be pushing his strength. And I believe that you're going to see his weaknesses. There is going to be justice. The 4 of them, the 4 cops, they are all going to be called out and they're all going to be charged. I bet you. This is going to be... Oh, come on now. I just got to have a quick look. Okay, we're going to go through these one at a time, but I just need to show you. This week, he has Justice, the Lovers, the Devil, the Wheel of Fortune. That's 3 major arcanas this week. So, boy, oh boy, I got a feeling. I knew to do this reading. Crazy week coming up. There's going to be problems. There's going to be... there's a sacrifice going to be made. Oh boys, this is going to be a crazy week. Donald Trump has lost the plot. There is the devil. Look, the negative energy is there. And this is a manifestation of all the anger, all the pain, all the tears. This is years and years and years of anguish, and it's coming to pass, and Donald Trump is going to be in the thick of it. He is the little man in clothes that's way too big for him. So he is going to continue to act like the tyrant. He's going to continue to act like he's the big man on campus, but we're all going to see his weakness. We're all going to see that he is incapable. And it's going to be seen on a world stage. The tides are turning. This is going to be a week of ups and downs, lefts or right. Information is going to come out that, one day we're going to find out something, the next day we're going to find out it's not true. Take everything you hear, see with a grain of salt this month. It's going to be a difficult month, but I promise you it's all going to be good. There is going to be something this week that's going to turn in Donald Trump's favor. And look, the reality is that the more divisive he can make people against each other, the more that works towards him. Because he whistles and he gaslights the KKK. He whistles and gaslights the far right leaning, the ones that have so much hatred against anything that's considered left in any way, shape, or form. So although this week is going to be crazy, there's going to be justice, there's going to be law, there's going to be legal things happening with Trump. The devil is coming out. The legal stuff is going to be coming out. There's going to be sacrifice and problems for Donald Trump. His world is going to be turned upside down. There's going to be information coming out this week that's going to be against him. It's going to be a heavy week, or certainly the beginning of what's going to be an extremely heavy month, and these things are going to be touched on this week. But he's also going to have some praise. There's going to be, like everything else, as much as there's anger and pain and hatred and heartache out there, there's going to be those who are going to support Trump, and they're going to see anything that Trump does as, oh, the king has arrived. So you're going to see an upswing for some of the people towards Donald Trump. At the end of the week, we're looking at a lot of tears and a lot of emotion. So it's going to be a difficult week. This is going to be a week where there's going to be a lot of information flowing at us, and I can feel it. Like this month, guys, the month of June, this is going to be, and I've even said in my other numerology, in my previous reading, or numerology reading, that, we have a double 5 energy flowing into this month, and this is the month of 6, where it's all about family and relationships, but we're in retrograde. So this is going to affect all of us from the core. If you're having bad relationships, friendships, if you're having difficulties with your mother, your father, your brother, your sisters, those things are going to be looked at. And then if you're having trouble at work, those things are going to be looked at. And it's going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So there's going to be a lot of layers that are going to have to be looked at, whether it's in our personal life or whether it's on our community life or in the bigger picture. But it's all going to be for the betterment of all of us. That's the thing that we have to keep looking at. And, we need to ensure that we give room and space for people's feelings, emotions, and let them have those. But we also have to realize that this is a time where we, as a community of people, need to come together. Let's not lose sight on that. So I think I'm going to leave the reading there now because I'm getting tired. It's already 25 minutes, and, it's a lot of feeling, a lot of emotion coming up, guys, and it's going to be a month where we're really going to need to have a safe space to come together, to talk, to communicate, and to be able to share our feelings, because there's going to be a lot coming up this month and over the next few months. And I truly believe that together, we can get through this. So I thank you so much for your time. And Spock thanks you for your time. Don't you, Spock? Tell them all, say, I love you. Tell them, say, I love you. Say, I love you. I love you. Okay, it's 1:30 in the morning. I can't be doing that. I love my dog. Yes, I love you. All right, guys. Have a great Sunday, and we'll be talking soon. Have a good one.